Morning YouTube. So in this video today I am just about to go into hospital, and I'm just thinking back, and I've wanted to do this video. I always try and do videos like this, especially at the end of the year, well, you know, start of the year, and I like to look back. So I want to give you some of the high points of 2023 season, some of the low points. Now I'll give you my first high point. My first high point was getting the container, getting the storage. I think it wouldn't have mattered whether I got a container, a warehouse, you know, a mate's garage, anything, but just having that ability to store stuff and keep stuff together and keep it all in one place where it's nice, dry, secure. I don't like using this word much, but it's a game changer. It really is. It's been such a nice, you know, feeling, and just having everything in one place is just really, really, really helpful, especially for my business. It's allowed me to grow as a business, so I can put more stuff in there. I've added to the machinery. I've still got room that if I wanted to buy another couple of bits, they should fit. And yeah, as I said, I don't like saying it, but it's been a game changer. It really has. Just having that ability to, you know, store stuff. So if you're thinking about getting it, I'd say do it sooner rather than later. You'll be amazed. Another thing with it as well, and it's not so much like dick swinging and stuff. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably insert a clip of the container like now. So as you can see, it's pretty full, and I think I did touch upon it then, is looking at what I've achieved. I know I mentioned in the video, there was a chap that said about, on one of the previous comments, about the investment in tools. I think he said I'd spent 17k on tools in 3 years, and I can believe it. And I think I probably spent more than that looking at it, and you can see all the stuff that's in there. And as I said, it's not meant as a bragging thing. It's definitely not meant as, like, you know, dick swinging, but what it's meant is it's more for me. So if you're having a bad day, and this is for you, it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day, I've got a little stool in there, you probably saw it, and there's quite often where, you know, you'd be grafting your bag off in summer, you'd be getting back here at 7 o'clock, you know, oh God, got to unload, you know, you unload, oh shit, I need this and I need that, and get that in and get it in, and I'll just have a sit down. You know, quite often I'll have a sit down. If I've got a drink with me, I'll finish it in there, and I look around. And you can do this as well, whether you've got a workshop, whether you've got a warehouse, whether you've got a container, whether you've just got a van. You know, look at what you've achieved, because all that kit is an achievement. That's all man hours you've put in. You've not stolen it to get it, you've not robbed anybody, you've not diddled an old lady out of the money to get it. What you've done is you've invested your money, your time, and you've put it towards a physical item, which then is going to make you more money in the future. So for me, I'm eternally grateful. I really am. It's happened a few times where I've sat, you know, where you've had a bad day, and I can look and you can think, you know what, I've done all this off my own back. So the next one is a low, but then it's also a high, and we may as well get it out of the way. Customers. This year I've seen some of probably the worst customers I've ever seen since I've been in business. Basically, just some, I don't know what it is. I find that all the cliches aren't true. So a woman with no money is going to be tight. A woman in a shithole out, you know, where she's really struggling, the house is neglected, you know, they're probably going to be tight. I found that the opposite. I find the people who are on the lower incomes, I'm not being judgmental, but you can tell that they're on a pension, obviously, and they're literally living pension to pension. But you'll go there and you know, they're smart, they can fill in the blanks. They can think, oh, this chap, he looks all right, that's the price, you know, I trust him, we'll get on with it. They're not haggling, they're not quibbling. Whenever anybody says to me, I'm not saying this because all my customers are OP, well, the majority of, well, probably, yeah, nearly in between the majority and all of them are OPs. And it's always the first question people ask is, do you do pensioner discount? And it's not the pensioners that are in the house struggling for money. It's the pensioners where they're in a 4, 5, 6 bedroom house, a couple of cars on the drive, and they just want money off, and I find them sort of people as well, that they just go out the way to try and get the money off you. And I don't mind bargain hunters, it doesn't bother me. If people say anything to do about the price, well, no, I can't, I'm afraid. Okay, I thought I'd just ask. But I think sometimes it goes above that with some people, where they will, they'll get you, and we've all had it, where, oh, I need a gardener, there'll be work all year round, but the price is a little high. How about if you meet me at my price, but I'll give you work? No, they won't. They never will. Or, oh, I need a regular grass cut. At how much? Well, it's for first cut. Well, no, it's not going to be a first cut because I've had it cut before, but could you come and just give me a price for a regular, and you'll be a one cut, and that'll be it. They just want that one cut to finish the season. But what they're doing is they're lying to you. They're blatantly lying to you. They're offering you something to get a price cheaper, which is then they're going to end up not having you ever again. And it really grates on me. And I've seen that firsthand this year. I really have. And that's, for me, I always have, and this is what I just touched upon then, I have a first cut policy, that if I go and I can tell, so if you can tell you're taking over from somebody with the grass, then it'll just be a normal price. But if you can tell that it's not been cut for a while, I'm not on about field high, but you could just tell it's not been cut for a good while, I always charge a first cut price. And that's when people, but it's had a cut, but it's not been cut by me. It says I need to spend extra time to get it on top of, to get it down to a level where it can be cut on a regular basis and it'll look nice, not scalping it every time. And normally I charge more for a first cut, obviously, because you're there a lot longer. And I find that weeds them out straight away. But what I've had before is if you just give them the price for a regular one, they just want it cheap, and they'll never have you back. And as I said, it's not so much people bargain hunters. Some people, I find it's more so like this is their enjoyment, this is their thing for the day. Like, oh yeah, we've got the gardener, we knocked him down. And it's not even the money, it's the principle that they've knocked me down. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm not that sort of guy. I'm not a guy that looks for confrontation. I'm a guy that deals with logic and intuition, and I think that's what it is, and I'll stand by it. So yeah, this year has definitely been some horrible people I've worked with, and I've just decided not to work with. But the flip side to that is the good customers. Oh my God, I cannot begin to tell you how good some people are. If you've not got it, you'll get it. I'm guaranteed. There'll be people out there that will want to take everything they can from your business, like them people I mentioned at the start. Oh, do you do pension in a nice big house? I'm on about people here that the opposite to that, where they're not going to throw money at you. They're not going to be coming out all the time. Here's 50 quid tip, Sam. Here's 10 million cups of tea. We'll leave the biscuit tin with you. No, not people like that, but people that will just do. All I ask with customers is just leave me to it and pay me what I ask. That's it. Just keep it simple. And customers, they don't need to throw money at you, but what they might do is they'll be like, oh, I recommended you. Oh, do you want to do this as well? And if you say, yeah, no problem, I'll just put a little bit out. Yeah, no problem. As I said, I'm a man of simple taste. I really am. And there's another thing as well with this operation. This has taught me, again, a lot about people, because I've had to, all year, for the past 2 years, I've had on and off problems where I have just this incredible pain from these cramps and these hernias. So there's times where I've had to just stop working, and I've been at regular customers' houses. I've got the mower out, I went round the strimmer, I've started mowing, and when the pain comes on, like I'm not a wuss to it, but it fucking hurts. You've just got to go home and lie down. You can't front it out, because it gets worse. and it gets worse. And I found the longer you front it out, the worse it gets, and the longer the pain stays. So if I get the pain coming on and I can get home pretty quick, it subsides quick. But if I man it out and think, oh, I'll finish this lawn and do another one, then I'm on my back for 2 days. So I've had to say to customers before, look, I'm gonna have to go home. Oh, is it what you said? Yeah. And you said, and even if you don't know, do you trust me? They're like, I'm like, Luke, I'm ever so sorry. I know this looks strange, but I've done half of the lawn. I said, I'll come back to do the other half as soon as I can. Yeah, no problem. They don't even quibble. They even say, we'll pay you and just come do it whenever. Brilliant people. Not, oh wow, if you come back tomorrow, could you come 2 weeks on tomorrow? Like, you can imagine. No, brilliant people. So highs container, high and low. Highs, good customers, brilliant. Lows, bad customers. But we don't get many of the bad people. The next one is, again, it's another customer one. That one person I met who's thrown all the house clearance work my way. I think sometimes you can pour thousands on adverts, but I do believe sometimes in being in the right place at the right time, and this has proven it to me, this customer. And I say this, just a little bit of niceness, a little bit of chat, maybe a smile, hi, how are you, stuff like that, and it gets you in with people. And if you do a good job and you charge a reasonable price. So this lady's been very, and as I said, I think percentage wise, I don't know, was it 10% of my income or more, 12 off one person. Now I'm not banking on that for next year, but if I get it again, I'll be fucking happy. So the next one is, unfortunately, it's a good thing, but when I tell it to you, you'll think I'm being negative, and I'm not. It's getting rid of them customers. Now, first off, we're self-employed, right? Hopefully. We're not an adoption centre for shit people. I'm going to be brutal when I say that. We aren't a charity, and we're not an adoption centre. Now, I hear gardeners say it quite often. They'll say, oh, I've got a bad customer, I'm definitely dropping him at the end of the next year. Why wait till the end of the year? Get rid of them now. If they're that bad that you're going home and you're angry because you're dealing with these shit people and it's affecting your home life and whatever, oof them off, get rid of them. As long as you do it right. I did a video on this about getting rid of people, and I went into it more than. But if you've got bad people, you work for, just get rid of them. They aren't going to change. They're not going to suddenly improve. They aren't. Flip side to that, I don't like saying this because it's almost like tit for tat. They do it to you. If they're a shit customer and they moan about the price, as soon as someone, hi there, I'm a grass guy, do you want me to do your lawn £8 an hour? Yeah, they'd have them. No loyalty with some people. So don't feel like you've got to work for them. Don't feel like you've got to keep them. As I said, if they're that bad, just get rid of them, because it's the last thing you want and it's the last thing you need. And like I said, we aren't a charity. We really aren't. So when I got rid of them customers, I think it was 6 or 7, it stressed me. But what it did is and this is building on to the next high point, but what it did is it immediately, like literally, I was like, I don't have to go to them anymore. And I felt brilliant. I really did. It was like a weight was lifted. They weren't really bad, they weren't. They're just the people that, they were either good people with bad gardens that I can't physically do, and that's what was causing these problems with the hernias, or they're bad people but with nice gardens. They were the sort where they always wanted more. They always wanted money, they were the, oh, could you just, I forgot to ask you. And they did it every time. They were the people that were, always late at paying. And then when you did try and get them on it, they were like, no, I paid you. And they did this every other couple of months. So it got repetitive pretty quick. So my advice, if you're carrying dead weight, get rid of it. The next one, which is the one I finish on, is, it's a high point, but I don't I don't think we talk a lot about feelings, but I am a confident person in a lot of situations, but I think sometimes the situations I'm not. And what I'm doing this year, and what I've did last year, but this year I'm doing it more, is I'm putting myself in situations which will put me out of my comfort zone, but being realistically, like, obviously I'm not going to be taking on stupid work, I'm not going to be taking on work that's far too big for me, but I will be pushing myself, and also in my personal life as well, because I think confidence is a very, very powerful tool. I think people can sniff bad confidence and low confidence, and what low confidence can also come across as is low ability, low self-worth, low sort of, there's a lot of bad qualities that come out of just being not confident. The amount of people that I know that are incredibly smart, almost gifted, like in the robot community, they can manufacture parts, they've got degrees, they're incredibly smart, but they're super low confidence. So, and they're unemployed, but I knew if they had the confidence and behind that job thing, they could push it. So that's what I'm trying to do with myself. Is I don't think it harms anybody to have a little bit more. Obviously we've all met blokes and women and anybody that's got too much confidence, and that's when people are normally like, a bit of a knob. But anyway, so definitely last year, even getting rid of them customers, you know what, that's gave me the confidence because my business can weather it. I've had customers where they've sacked me, they just didn't, I've talked about them on here, they just didn't like, I think I've lost a couple because I put the price up by £5. I did a video at the start of last year where me 2 best customers just got rid of me. They just, there were changes. There was a lot to the story, so check out the previous video. I think it was this time last year. And I went into the year thinking, bloody hell, am I going to do this? I've not got my 2 best ones. But you do, and you get the confidence to weather it. The hospital appointment being cancelled, that was probably the lowest point out of the year. But actually, I think sometimes maybe these things happen for a reason, and that's how I'm seeing it now, because I'm thinking to myself, maybe there's a reason that got cancelled, and maybe it's to show me, that your customers will look after you, and you'll look after yourself when you've got the confidence. As I said, that's probably the hardest thing to get out of all of it, other than even harder than an elite chipper, or a tipping trailer. So have a good day, guys, keep on gardening, all that good stuff.